You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Most writers and radio show hosts know that to connect with your fans, you need to do more than just write books or record the latest podcasts. There are many different elements that go into forming an online platform, but there are also many hidden traps. To make matters worse, solid advice on how to survive the muddy waters is scarce. In the book Hidden Traps, I talk about some of the important issues of working with an online platform, highlighting traps that could put your physical or internet security at risk or be harmful to your reputation. Are your social media posts just links with a few disjointed words, making you look like someone who can't complete a sentence? Did your new website cost you more than you anticipated? Are you leaking your personal contact details across the web without even knowing it? Then you need Hidden Traps. Although Hidden Traps is not officially released until August 1st, you can pre-order your paperback or ebook copy now from a variety of retailers, including Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and Kobo. Visit blackwolfpublications.com for more details.
Here's George Foreman with InventHelp.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp has been helping inventors for more than 30 years and has sales offices nationwide. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas. If you have an idea and want to try to patent it and submit it to companies, you should call InventHelp today for free information.
Listen, I can't guarantee a company will be interested in your idea, but I believe every inventor deserves the opportunity to step into the ring and take their best shot. Put InventHelp in your corner.
Get your free inventor's information. Call 1-800-353-6490. That's 1-800-353-6490. Again, 1-800-353-6490.
KLRN Radio has advertising rates available. We have rates to fit almost any budget. Contact us at advertising@klrnradio.com.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
If you're 85 or younger, would you like peace of mind and comfort for your family? We're Final Expense Direct with an urgent message for you. The average funeral today costs over $8,000, but the most you'll get from government benefits is $255. How will your family pay the difference? We can help. Our senior plans start as low as just $1 a day and pay up to $30,000 for a funeral and other final expenses. Peace of mind is easy. There's no medical exam. You'll have lifetime coverage, and your plan can't be canceled as long as you pay your premiums. Call now for free information about our senior plans. Answer a few simple questions and receive approval right on the phone. Plus, call right now and we'll give you a discount prescription card for free. Call 800-553-8687. That's 800-553-8687. Again, 800-553-8687.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same.
Well, good evening, America. This is JandR coming to you live from KLRNradio.com, where we are live every Tuesday and Thursday. Well, except for Thursday and next Tuesday, we actually will not be live those 2 days. But we are live with you right now, and we are coming to you live from KLRNradio.com. And of course, I am Mr. Big Robinson, and I'm joined by the other half of the crew, Miss Jen Homestead. And how are you this evening, ma'am?
Oh, I'm doing okay. Just avoiding some of life's obstacles.
Yeah, the funny thing is when you get life's obstacles and they're the ones you're not expecting. But I mean, I don't even know where to start tonight because it's like there's so much going on in the news. I can't even really pick a starting point. So I'm just gonna pick something out that we hear every single time the show opens, and that's that line from Reagan where he talks about that we have to basically find a way to pass freedom along to our children and teach them that they have to be the ones to fight for it when it's their turn in their generation. I kind of feel like our generation kind of dropped the ball on that a little bit. Especially me, the Generation X generation. I mean, I know that. What is that new term they have for you? Because you're kind of the one that's in the middle, and I know you. They have some.
Oh shoot! What was it called?
I figured.
Now I can't even remember anymore.
I figured you'd remember it because you were like happy that somebody's like. You're like, oh my God, they have something for me other than millennial now. But yeah. So.
It shows you how much I pay attention to any of this anyways. I just was happy for a split second. Now I can't even remember what it is.
But yeah, I mean, hearing that quote, it reminds me of pretty much everything that led me to do all the things that we do on a daily basis around here. And it's because I honestly believe that what Reagan said was true in that particular quote. Freedom is something that we have to fight for every single day. And we have an entire group of people that seem to be willing to give it up in exchange for government doles and government handouts. And I'm just not ready to be that guy.
No, I'm not either.
So many are. Well, I hope you're not ready to be that guy. That would be a little awkward.
Well, I do. I was just talking with a couple people, some of our friends today on Twitter, and I was saying, some people were coming back and it was from things varying from healthcare to minimum wage to, all those key points that and little things that the Democrats love to just continue to push for and spout off bogus stats and facts for. And it was like, yeah, it was something about the minimum wage. And it was saying, if you don't, tagged a few people and said, if you don't support this, if you don't think that, it should at least be $10, I'm not even saying 15, but at least be $10. If you don't think that and support it, then you hate poor people and you're a fascist. I'm going, wait a second. People don't even know what things mean anymore. I mean, you're talking about all this government control and how you hope that more of us continue to fight rolling over and just submitting to that, which it seems like so many Republicans are even resigned to do. But these people have actually, they're changing the definitions of words. Fascism, what they are talking about, if you don't accept this, you are a fascist. If you don't accept my government-controlled wage raiser, then you are a fascist. No, sweetheart, that's the opposite. You're the fascist. And they cannot, for the life of them, understand this definition. And it's like racist. I mean, it's just all these things have lost all meaning. And so you've got a large part of the population that in some way or another supports government control of way too much, whether they label themselves R's or Dems, and they're changing what words mean in order to suit that, including the word conservative. It's just so crazy what is happening and how people are. Feel like half the time I'm just going, are you serious? Can't be serious. This is a joke, right? This is a parody, and people are serious. It's crazy.
But it is nuts. I mean, that's just like today, they had the big vote with the Senate that, they needed Pence to be the tiebreaker for. Why do we need Pence to be a tiebreaker for? I mean, we're not even voting on whether we're going to do anything specifically about Obamacare yet. We're just voting on the idea of, are we going to talk about whether or not we're going to fix Obamacare? And we still needed Pence as a tiebreaker? What the hell?
Yeah. I know. That seems like, hey, you're probably not doing this very well if that's the case. Also, did you see, who was it? One of those blue check boneheads said something about, about how, this isn't representative. So, like, this wouldn't have even been a vote. It would have been dead in the water if, the people were appropriately represented. Who was it? I think it was maybe Ian Millenhauser or whatever his name is.
Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about, but I can't really think of his full name either.
Okay, so he basically said that though, like, y'all wouldn't even. Here is Milheiser. If it wasn't for malapportionment, he says, Dems would control at least 54 seats in the Senate and Trump care would be dead. Malapportionment. You mean the Senate working the way it's supposed to? I said, that's really cute. This is exactly by design, was given great consideration. And I don't know, is Article 1, Section 3 of the freaking Constitution. It's supposed to be set to where it's not directly representative, you bonehead. But no, now it's not fair. So now they're looking at each thing that passes and saying, well, if it was fair and if it was if it was not malapportioned, whatever the heck that is. I mean, I know it's a word, but it's so stupid to use. If it was not malapportioned, then this would be that and that would be this. Well, guess what? We can flip that back on all the other presidents and say very similar things on almost anything that's ever passed. So that's just so ridiculous. Basically, he's saying that, that the coasts don't get enough weight in it. And if they did, then, then there would be different outcomes on the legislative agenda and what passes.
But I mean that's kind of the point, though, isn't it? Because we don't want the coast to have such a heavy vote that they basically are the ones that get to decide everything all the time.
Well, yeah, no, they think that they always should be able to be because they've got the larger population. However, I do find it interesting that they don't want to talk about the percentage of their populations that actually don't vote blue. So, there are counties in California that went 30 to 50% for Trump. There are areas on the East Coast that had high turnout and have high turnout for Republicans. They just don't take the state. But so they want to ignore them and they don't want to talk about that. But when it comes to representing their voice in something like the Senate, what they mean is they only want to represent the left voice. And it's completely disingenuous because they want to completely ignore the percentage of those populations on the coast that didn't vote their way either. So, this Senate is actually representing them. But no. Don't look at them because they were the stupid ones. So go with what the rest of the coast voted.
I mean, here's the thing that I don't understand about that. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that we go ahead and we let them redesign it all. We're the ones that don't kill our children. Eventually, we're going to outnumber them anyway.
Ooh. That is a point.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud? My bad.
Dang, that is a point. Point 1 for Rick, 0 for idiot leftists.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing that I didn't see that earlier today, because I probably would have been like, you know what, you could probably make a case for that, because we're the ones that don't abort our children, so eventually we'll outnumber you anyway.
It's so stupid.
But I mean, what do I know? Because there's no guarantee that anybody born into a conservative family is going to wind up voting conservative anyway, although that does tend to usually hold true.
Yeah, no, this is true. There are always some stray dogs, but at the same time, I think that, this is just continuing what the left and this whole, the resistance has been pushing this whole time. They legitimately do not respect our process and the way that this country was designed to work. They legitimately want to undermine it. They hope to see it taken down in a way in which that they then think they can control it and it will be better suited for their agendas. And that way they can win and they can push things through. And they truly think it's not fair. They truly think that it's outdated and no longer relevant to modern times. And a lot of them have come just short of saying it. Some of them say it outright. But, week after week after week, someone is tweeting and writing articles like this, and they are not on the fringe. They are in the mainstream. They are being featured in, major publications. So, this is only going to grow, I'm afraid. And I hope that, basically, I love to continue to laugh at them, but I also hope that in the years to come, that stronger minds and principles will prevail.
Oh, I don't really have anything to add to that. I'm watching some things come across my news feed, and I'm just speechless right now. So, just to, I don't know, at this point I'm trying to keep my head from exploding, because everything that I see lately when I pull up Facebook or Twitter, something about the whole Jeff Sessions thing and how Trump should fire him or shouldn't fire him. And I've even seen people that I know and respect that have said Sessions shouldn't have recused himself. That's the last thing Sessions shouldn't have done, because he was an active participant in the campaign that was under investigation, so he had to recuse himself. To say that he shouldn't have is stupid, because, are you trying to say that you don't want an attorney general that doesn't understand that he probably can't be impartial because he was actually an active participant in the campaign that is currently under investigation? Because that's what you're literally saying when you say that Sessions shouldn't recuse himself. And the fact that Donald Trump has been, I think, the only sitting president in history to completely lambaste members of his own cabinet in public weeks upon weeks upon weeks without end before he just up and fires them. I remember this thing about winning. Not seeing much winning.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing is, okay, so all of us, we all told them, didn't we? We told them he was not going to suddenly become presidential. We told them he was not going to change the way in which he operates. We told them that he would still be publicly fighting people in open spats on things like Twitter. And they said, no, give him a chance. He'll do this, he'll do that, he'll do whatever. He's not. So knowing that he's not going to change, now we're in a position where this is like his fight with Rosie. This is like the fights he had with people that were cut from The Apprentice. He's treating this like he probably pretty boorishly runs several of his companies. I don't care how successful he is. I can't imagine he's I imagine him like this as like a CEO, you know, where he gets sideways with people, they maybe don't see it coming, and he, you know, just gets rid of them. And as a CEO, you can do that, I guess, to a certain extent. You're usually held accountable in some way or another by other people, and so you can't just completely reign willy-nilly, but you know, you can do more of this. Certainly on his show, he was able to have pretty free reign to just fire at will and behave how he wished. And he's been a public figure for a really long time, so he's able to have these, you know, public spats and keep them going for more publicity and to feed his ego. This is where I have always feared he would go wrong, in that I didn't think he could ever quite get over that hump and realize the difference between everything he has done before and being president. There is a profound difference in running companies and running and starring in a TV show, producing a TV show, and being president of the United States. The processes are different. Obviously, there's so much more tape, so much more red tape. There's so much more tradition and decorum about it all. You can't just do this kind of thing and behave this way. And to sit there and tweet and then probably, you know, and say stuff on a show and probably go on other shows and in other interviews and say things about him in order to bully him into a resignation or then eventually fire him is just so adverse to how this government is supposed to work. And it's embarrassing and it's insulting to pretty much anyone that came before him.
It's not only an insult to anyone that came before him, I think it's going to wind up being an issue for anybody that comes after him, because I mean, the Trump effect is already kicking in, because now we have other people with star power that are suddenly deciding they want to get involved in politics. And say what you want about Kid Rock and whether he's conservative or whatever else he may or may not be. What kind of qualifications does he have to be a senator? I mean, what is it that he's actually done that makes him somebody that we should put into that type of a position, other than the fact that everybody knows what his name is and he claims to be conservative? I mean, I hate to sound like the guys that used to bash Reagan, but at least by the time Reagan thought about running for president, he had actually held some sort of an office and had an idea about how politics should work and had been actively involved in the GOP and everything else for years before he made it to that point. That's the problem. Everybody says they're glad Trump's there because he has zero political background. Well, it's showing. Because, I mean, look, now, you can say what you want, and I've seen all kinds of people that have made, you know, arguments about this, that, and the other, but I want to say this just this way. If Barack Obama had been making a speech in front of the Boy Scouts and had said a cuss word, what would all the Republicans in the country be doing right now?
Oh, well, we know exactly how they'd be reacting.
Now, granted, they don't have a leg to stand on for them being the ones that throw a fit right now, because they're like, oh my God, Donald Trump cussed in front of the Boy Scouts. But hey, check out this Teen Vogue article about teenagers and butt sex. It's pretty awesome. I mean, they literally don't have any moral ground to stand on. But the problem is we do. But we keep throwing it away. Because
and what's they've got a representative too that always cusses. It's a woman. She always has this thing where she's like, you know, I'm going to stand the F up to Trump, and they made T-shirts. What was it? Oh my gosh. Anyways, she's ridiculous. Yes, they don't have a leg to stand on. Absolutely not. And to your point of saying about entertainers getting involved in politics, I don't think it's completely unacceptable. I don't think that it's unreasonable if they, you know, are genuinely interested, have devoted time to, you know, to politics, to researching, to networking, to educating themselves, you know, in the realm of running this country or being a part of the legislative process of this country. I am not 100% opposed to that just because you're in entertainment, you can't cross streams. I don't think that's true. But, and like you said, we got a wonderful president out of it. But also, like you said, you know, it doesn't just mean, hey, I'm popular, I can get the votes, so I should do it. That bothers me when it comes to anybody. It bothered me about Barack Obama. And yes, he had an education and he had studied law and all of these things that did make him at least pseudo qualified to run for Senate. But I thought it was ridiculous the way that they propped him up with basically zero experience. And, there are so many people like that. But I am for, people that aren't lifetime politicians being able to try to run. But I just don't know I don't think that that's Kid Rock right now, and I don't want that to continue to be the thing with all of them, is that anybody like that just says, oh, I can get the vote, so I might as well just do it and wear an American flag jacket and yeehaw, let's go. I mean, oh gosh, that's going to be awful.
I mean, at this point, if we're going to go down this rabbit hole, we might as well just do this. Can we just, do what they did in Demolition Man and pass the amendment that allows Arnold Schwarzenegger to run for president? Just be done with it. I mean, seriously.
Exactly. Well, I was saying the other day, I tweeted out, F it, Kanye 2020, bring it on. I'm going to call it. And then what did I say? Something about, because he'll be President Kanye. I was like, I'm going to call him pre-K. But I mean, it's just... I just can't even. I can't stomach the fact that we might have in the next 10 years like 8 or 9 legit celebrities that end up taking pretty high power in this country with no real background to show for it.
Well, get ready for it, because it'll be the Trump phenomenon for about the next 10 to 15 years till somebody wakes the hell up. And that's honestly, seeing this begin, that was one of the reasons why in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is the last person that needs to be president. Not only because he has zero decorum, not only because he basically attacks anybody that stands in his way, it doesn't matter which side of the aisle they stand on, but at the same time, because of the fact that the Republicans have now tapped into populism, and they know it wins, that's going to be their goal from now on. They're going to find the most popular candidate possible and put them in every single district possible. Whether it's a local election, whether it's a national election, it's not going to matter. They're going to go for star power because it works. Because when they win, the Democrats go nuts because they win, and then they do stupid crap like come up with a slogan that sounds like they ripped it off from Papa John's. It's just this perpetuating cycle. I mean, that's the scariest part, is we could legitimately be putting forward real candidates with real experience and real plans, and we could still be winning the day, because the Democrats are completely demolished at this point. But we're still just like, well, the only way that we can win is to put up names that people recognize. That's not completely true. Yes, you want some name recognition, but you don't want every rock star on the planet suddenly deciding that they want to be president. I mean, that's just like all of a sudden Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is suddenly floating around the idea of voting for president or running for president. Not sure which party he plans on running for, because I haven't ever.
Hey, I'm voting for him. I don't care.
Whatever. You're just voting for his pecs. That ain't got nothing to do with his qualifications.
Oh, I love The Rock. I just think I think he's great. And I'm not even particularly attracted to him, but I think he's great. But and I do hear that he's fairly like conservative, libertarian, maybe a little bit socially liberal, but definitely leans more right than left, which is cool. But no, I mean, it's granted, I think that he would represent us in a way that is just so much more respectable than Donald Trump at this point, though he may not know what policies to run, but I think he would represent us more respectably. But yeah, I mean, that is the thing though, right? Like, it's just, when will it stop?
The problem is, now that it's worked, it's not going to stop till it stops working.
Ugh.
Human nature.
I know.
And that's what has me so concerned about all of these different things now that the Republicans are flirting with, like the idea of not repealing Obamacare, but kind of revamping it, fixing the broken pieces, and letting it stay in place, which apparently was a lot of their goals the entire time. Because let's not forget, they tried to pass a bill to repeal it 60 plus times when it was nothing but a show vote.
Ugh, I know. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're going to repeal.
Well, I mean,
I think they would have already.
Here's the hardest pill to swallow when it comes to stuff like this. No pun intended, since we're talking medical care. But the problem is, if you notice in history, anytime an entitlement program is passed, it never actually really goes away. It may be changed, it may be modified, usually for the worse, not for the better, but it never actually goes away. That's the reason why everybody fought against the idea of Social Security, because honestly, when you think about it, Social Security is a legalized Ponzi scheme perpetuated by the U.S. government, because they're basically taking money from you on your paycheck and stating that you can't invest this because we're going to do it for you. But they don't invest anything, they just spend it and then hope you're going to die before you try to collect it. That's been their plan all along. That's the reason,
right.
That's the reason why they set the age as high as they did. Think about how high that age has been, and think about when this plan was initiated. There was almost nobody on the planet that lived between the ages of 60 to 65 when this plan was initiated, and they knew that. That's why it was set so high, because they knew at that time there was about a 5 to 10% chance that somebody was actually going to be able to collect this money. So there were more people putting into it than there ever were going to be taking out of it. Now we live much longer, we have less people working, so the problem again with the whole idea of Social Security, which will eventually become the same problem as socialized medicine, which whether anybody wants to talk about it or not, that is where we're headed unless we pull a plug right now. Because we will get there. It's going to happen either all at once or it's going to happen incrementally, but regardless, we will get there. Unless we stop it now and we repeal and we allow full markets or full free market access to come back into play, we will have socialized medicine. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. But we're going to see the same things that are going on with Social Security right now, where there's now less people pulling the wagon than there are in the wagon, and it's to the point where it's really not going to go too much further. And we know that, but yet nobody wants to try to fix it. And when they start trying to talk about fixing it, oh my God, you're trying to cut Social Security because now you want to make it where people can't even get to the money till they're 75. Well, yeah, that's because everybody lives to be 90 now, unless there's something really, really wrong with you. So, I mean, should we not extend the age out a little bit to make sure that there's more people putting in money for longer, to make sure that people like me might actually have some of that money? It's not like it's voluntary. I could see them being, less cranky about it if it was voluntary, and I could, take the $40, $60, $120, depending on how much money I make in a pay period, that's being taken out of my check against my will to be put into an account for something that I will never see. If I was able to take that money and invest it on my own, then I wouldn't care what they wanted to do with Social Security. But if I'm supposed to be able to reap the benefits of this money the government is stealing from me, then I want to be able to reap the benefits of the money that the government is stealing from me, because that's how this was sold to me. We're going to take care of you by taking money from you so that you'll have it later. That's the plan, except that's not really what they wanted. They just wanted unlimited funds. And that's what they got, because they sold everybody on a lockbox that doesn't exist.
Right. Right. I mean, I don't see that getting fixed hardly at all.
And it won't,
if ever.
Which is exactly why Obamacare is not really going to get fixed. They're going to change the name on it a little bit. They're going to fix some things up around the edges, tell us it's all better. Sell it to us as a brand new plan, and we're all going to be just as screwed, if not more screwed, than we were before. Even though these are the same people that ran on the idea of repealing it for 7.5 years, and then when they finally got closer to the finish line, it became repeal and replace. Now it's, we shouldn't really mess with this at all because we're afraid we're going to mess it up worse if we get rid of it.
Oh, I know.
Why didn't you tell us that 7 years ago so we could have voted for somebody else?
Agreed.
Jerks. All right, so anyway, we are officially long. We need to take a break. This is JandR. We'll be back here in about 4 minutes. Stay tuned. As soon as I find my button here, where did it go? Oh, but there we go. Everything is changing.
The following message contains a special offer for listeners of this station. Are you a man over 40? Are you constantly looking for the nearest bathroom? Do you wake up multiple times a night to use the bathroom? Right now, Perfect Prostate is sending out free bottles of their groundbreaking new formula to listeners of this station. Perfect Prostate formula was developed by medical doctor Mitchell Fleischer, and its ingredients have been clinically studied to reduce your frequent nighttime bathroom visits and promote healthy urine flow. Right now, preferred customers get their first bottle of Perfect Prostate absolutely free. There's nothing to lose. Perfect Prostate is guaranteed to reduce that constant urge to use the bathroom, especially at night, and promote healthy urine flow. Don't wait. Call now for your free bottle. Just pay shipping and processing. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251. Supplies are limited. One free bottle per household. Call now. Dial 1-800-675-0251. That's 1-800-675-0251.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 1-800-516-7602 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 1-800-516-7602 to take your call right now. Call 1-800-516-7602. That's 1-800-516-7602. Again, 1-800-516-7602.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps stand ready to defend the American way of life. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey folks, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Dr. Richard Harden. We are on the same mission, which is waking up America. We just have different paths. So stay tuned for some information on how you can keep up with Richard and all his work.
Visit Richard's website at rahardin.com. That's the World Wide Web at rahardin.com. At his website, you can see a summary of the 6 books he has written, where purchases may be made. He also has a link to 18 videos on YouTube and several blogs about Christian beliefs. If you prefer, visit amazon.com/Kindle and type in Richard Harden to see and purchase his books.
Everyone loves liberty. Our rights come from God, not the government. So why are you letting other people tell you what's best for your health care? Exercise your freedom with Liberty Health Share. Liberty Health Share is a community of people who voluntarily share one another's medical costs. Liberty Health Share is founded on the idea that most people truly want to help one another. Healthcare sharing allows members to do just that as a true community that supports one another in times of need. Liberty believes people should make decisions for themselves and their families. Members are able to take back the freedom to make their own decisions about their health care. Freedom from guilt or doubt about how your money is used. You have the freedom to direct your health care, not to be dictated to by bureaucrats. Stop letting others tell you what to do and join a community of like-minded people. Exercise your freedom. Join Liberty Health Share and take back the control of your health care while helping those around you. Call Liberty at 855-58-LIBERTY. Again, that's 855-58-LIBERTY for more information, or you can check them out at libertyhealthshare.org. Again, that's libertyhealthshare.org. Welcome back, folks. We are just a little bit over halfway through the show, actually, so we're going to keep on rolling here. Now, some other things that have happened in the news since Jen and I had done a show together. There's lots of things that have actually happened in the news. Spicy has stepped down as press sec, and apparently there's been... I'm not sure if this is a position that has always existed, and I've just never actually heard about it before because nobody ever talks about it, but there's a dude that's been appointed as some sort of a comms director for the White House. Last name Scaramucci. or as I like to call it.
Scaramouche, will you do the fandango?
That's awesome. Yeah, I think there has been comms directors before. I'm not sure how prevalent their role is, in as far as the public goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's a role that's been there. It's just not one that I've ever really heard given any public attention. And it's almost like the comms director has become the actual press sec, even though it's supposed to be Huckabee's daughter now. Because he's the one going on all the Sunday talk shows and doing this, that, and the other. I'm like, wait, isn't that supposed... I'm so confused.
Really? Well, yeah, I'm just kind of... This administration confuses me in general. I don't know what is going on.
Yeah, I mean, well, welcome to the club. The really funny thing is we see all these things that are starting to kind of, just the fraying around the edges. And, somebody had put out, it was one of the bins, I can't remember which bin, had put out a tweet about, how they had been treated by Trumpkins, and some of us had started kind of weighing in about similar circumstances, and of course that had drawn all the Trumpkins in, and that's honestly why I missed most everything else on Twitter, because we were really busy at work, and the few minutes that I had to spend on Twitter today was usually revolving around that particular thread, which had drawn in Road Beer and a bunch of others, so it was kind of fun to watch, which is another reason why I kind of didn't notice much of anything else. But it was just funny to watch, because, I mean, everybody has their own brand of crazy. I'm still sitting over here trying to shoot things down the middle as best I can. If Trump does something that I agree with, I'm going to try to give him credit for it. If he does something that's crazy or acts like a moron, I'm going to try to call him out for it. But all sides have their own brand of crazy now. The media is completely frothing at the mouth for anything they can do to destroy the man. I've actually heard rumors of there's apparently a pastor someplace that had heard from a high-ranking Republican official that they were hoping that he was going to be assassinated. I have not been able to confirm or deny that. However, I have seen audio clips or video clips of it that I haven't had a chance to listen to. I don't know what's going on there. If that's true, that is completely insane. And it's just all of it to me. I don't even know what to do anymore, because it's like you can't just be the guy trying to call it down the middle and say, this he's doing well, this sucks, and I really wish... I mean, honestly, if I had my druthers, he still wouldn't be president. But the simple fact of the matter is, he is president. And no matter what else is going on, at least economy-wise, things are starting to move in the right direction. I will leave it up to you as to whether you want to give him credit for it or the majority of the credit to Obama. I think most of it is probably because there has been a positive upturn in the business sector since he was elected. I mean, we're literally sitting on nearly 1 million jobs that have been created, but nobody's talking about that because we're too busy watching him act like an ass on Twitter. We're watching him act like an ass in front of the Boy Scouts, and we're too busy listening to everybody else drone on and on and on about Russia and how terrible it was. I'm just over all of it.
Yeah, I am too. It's so hard to get outraged anymore. I mean, I see or hear something and I go, you know what? In a normal world, I totally would be irritated by this. And I would be flying off the handle about it and, angrily tweeting about it. But there's just so much. And oftentimes it's a bunch of BS, that the media is pushing, and then it turns out, well, that's not really how this was or how that was, and it, then they have to backtrack or cover their steps or whatever else, and it just doesn't. The bombshell doesn't end up being a bombshell, but it's just I'm just over. I'm outraged. My outrage button is no longer working. It's hard to push, and it's just so hard to get worked up about any of these things. Because, by the way, this is the person that not only America elected and everything that comes with it, but this is also the person that the media pushed to run against Hillary Clinton in hopes that he would be slaughtered by her. And it didn't happen. So I don't really feel sorry for any of us. It just sucks all the way around.
Speaking of people talking about running, because we'd mentioned that a couple segments ago, I hear this rumor that Maxine Waters is toying with the idea of running in 2020.
Okay.
or as I like to call her, James Brown in drag. I mean, if you ever really just watched her and listened to the way she talks, I swear to God, it's like, I don't think James Brown died. I think he was the first person to do transgender surgery and just never wanted to admit it.
That is really pretty hilarious. I'm trying to think here. How old is she?
I don't know. Hang on. Let's see if Google will tell us how old she is.
I'm going to find out right now.
Because, yeah, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty
She's
sure.
78.
Yeah, what puts her... Isn't that... How old is Trump right now? Isn't he like 77-ish?
Yeah, I mean, but she's 78 now. So to run in 2020, I mean, she'd be over 80 years old.
But now, I want you to picture this real quick, because right now, so far, we're pretty sure Hillary Clinton's going to try to run again. We know Bernie's going to try to run again. Now Maxine Waters is talking about it, and I'm sure Pocahontas is going to wind up somewhere in there, too. I mean, at this point, what are they trying to do? Revamp Three's Company or the Golden Girls?
I mean, I think they think the White House is assisted living.
Well, I mean, isn't it kind of assisted living?
But I mean, like, really, for elderly. Like, they think that's their retirement home, maybe.
I'm just thinking, you know, the only thing I'm going to say is if that winds up being the debate stage for the DNC for 2020, their sponsors need to be Hover Around and Life Alert. Slam dunk.
Exactly. Also, by the way, yeah, that's not a good strategy for the Democrats.
Can't be any worse than getting high, having the munchies, and stealing Papa John's slogan.
Yeah, that is crazy.
You know, whoever came up with that slogan was eating Papa John's pizza and was like, that would make a good slogan. No, actually, it's a terrible slogan because it's really, really long. There's tons of punctuation, and it's just stupid because everybody knows you stole it from a pizza joint. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't know what the heck these people are thinking.
I mean, but that's what drives me crazy, because if we could actually stay on message and do the things that we told America we were going to do, we could probably build a bit of a dynasty here for at least the next 2 to 3 terms. But if we don't do what we told them we were going to do with this Obamacare mess, it's done. That's why I started screaming and yelling when they started, well, this is phase 1, so we're going to do this first, and then phase 2 will be in 2018, and phase 3 will be in 2022, and I'm like, you guys aren't even going to have power in 2018 if you don't do what the hell you said you were going to do. Because not only did you guys have 7.5 years to tell us over and over again, if we give you control of everything, you're going to clean this mess up. Trump made the mistake of saying it was going to be the first thing that he did. Obamacare was going to be repealed on day 1. That's what he said. Day 1. Because he thought it was going to be easy because all the Republicans wanted to get rid of it. So day 1, first thing he was going to do. This is, well,
he was also going to put Hillary in prison.
It's interesting that you bring that up, because now he's actually yelling about Sessions not pursuing the Clinton investigation aggressively enough as one of his talking points for now getting rid of him.
Very weak. Very weak. You know what I think is very weak is that after he was elected, he said that he wasn't going to prosecute her, that he thought that we owed her a debt of gratitude for all of her service and the way in which she has, you know, been all of her years in government, basically, and everything that she's sacrificed. And he said that the Clintons are good people and that he admired her campaign. Sorry, which is weaker here? An AG not pursuing, you know, the prosecution for something he's not going to get a conviction on, and the president has said, let's not do that. Or the president that has now changed his mind and decided that it's going to be Sessions' fault for this, and who has praised the Clintons and praised Hillary, and now in this public feud wants to decide to throw that in his face in order to, you know, humiliate and demean him. It is so disgusting.
I mean, it makes no sense to me, because the one thing that I would disagree with is I think if they actually started trying to prosecute it, they probably could get a conviction. Because I have attorneys in my family. I have a cousin who was actually the Attorney General for Guam for a while before. For some reason, without much notice to her family, she decided to switch sides of the aisle. I'm still not quite sure what happened there. But as far as that goes, we'd actually spent quite a bit of time going back and forth about a lot of this stuff. And even some other folks that I know that are attorneys were like, we would have tried to try this case with half as much as what he's just outlined when...
Well, I think that that's absolutely true. And I think that there are all sorts of reasons why, if this is anybody else, the law's broken would absolutely mean a conviction. I'm saying in the grand scheme of things, and when you look at all of it, they are not going to convict the former First Lady, the former Secretary of State, the former First Lady of Arkansas, and heralded heroine of women everywhere. I just don't think that they would have done it no matter what the legalities say, because she's just far enough removed from all the little things that other people down the line could take the fall for it. And I do think that would have happened. I think that she would have had some consequences and would have had to suffer some, but I think mostly the people under her would be the ones paying the price. And, when it comes down to it with these kind of people, I mean, our can act like they're not, but they look at something like that and then they wonder about themselves. And I think that there would be a lot of trading going on that, to not actually convict her, at least not in a way that would send her to prison. She would see no jail time, even if she got some sort of conviction. I just don't see it happening. They all protect their own hides and they've all got skeletons. And I think they go, well, if we can do this and we can do that, and that we already know that there are all sorts of other government agents that mishandled email and all that kind of thing. None so directly as the Secretary of State, but that there were going to be all sorts of fingers pointed and investigations done. And I think that the political appetite for it among those that actually have to undertake it was not there. And some of that was selfish on their part in self-preservation. But it doesn't even matter. The point is that he claimed that was what he wanted to do, that he was going to, Hillary for prison and all of that. And then day one, he's like, oh, no, I haven't even thought about it. I'm not even looking into that. They're good people. We owe her a debt of gratitude. It's just so stupid. And that's where that was one of the first things that I went, oh, y'all bought into his shtick, hook, line, and sinker. And here we go already. And the same thing with Obamacare. Here we go. It's just amazing the way in which he switches gears so fast, because he doesn't really believe in any of these things. Not the way you and I believe in our, conviction, our conservative convictions and principles. He doesn't believe in anything in that way. He can be bought so easily.
Yeah, all I have to say is if we weren't on the radio right now, something tells me that wouldn't have been shtick. But anyway. But,
probably not.
It's interesting that you bring that up, because I actually tweeted something about that today, because it's funny watching him, because he literally because he does exactly what he said he wasn't going to do. He shifts whatever he's saying based on the political winds and what he thinks he can gain from whatever he's saying. And this goes back to the Sessions thing, because why would a sitting attorney general be pursuing an investigation based on the fact that the person that hired him for the job said he didn't want to prosecute them because they were good people? Why would an attorney general be doing that? Why? Because the guy that gave you the job said right before he gave you the job, I'm not going to do this. So now you're going to throw him under the bus because you don't like the fact that he recused himself? But it's all about, we're watching him do the same thing that we used to get so mad about Barack Obama doing, and now our side's fine with it, and even to a point, the Democrats are kind of okay with it too, because it makes him look weak, and anytime he looks weak, they think they're going to be able to capitalize in 2020. I don't really know of any way that they recover unless we just continue to mess up the way that we are right now. Because the only thing that could sour the American people at this point is if the Republicans don't do what they said they were going to do, which is deal with Obamacare within the next year and a half, because we're looking at midterms. I mean, we're going to see the same thing happen in reverse, because what happened the last time is Obamacare got passed. People weren't happy with it, so they gave the House to the Republicans, and then eventually they gave the Senate to the Republicans, and eventually they gave the White House to the Republicans, because the Republicans kept saying, do this and we'll fix it. When they don't fix it, they're going to give the House back to the Democrats, and I guarantee you, if we don't fix it, and that happens, then we already have every Democrat on the planet beating the drum for impeachment. They're going to get there if we...
Well, I have one question, though. Why is this Sessions thing coming up now? He recused himself in March. The very beginning of March. What is it? So what else is going on, and what is Trump pissed off about now that he is icing him out and, trying to bash him in public?
I honestly don't know why he's picking on Sessions. I can honestly tell you that with Junior stepping in front of the bullet when it came to the Russia thing a couple weeks ago, the Russia scandal was dying. It was almost gone. It had gotten to the point where there was barely anybody talking about it anymore, except for the diehard folks on the left. And then all of a sudden, Trump has this interview where he calls out Sessions, and he basically warns off Mueller. And now there's new life in it again. So what I want to know, because again, this is one of those things where history has shown us this, when a sitting administration will not let a scandal die, there's usually something much worse going on in the background that they do not want us to know about. Case in point, going all the way back to the Clinton years, let's not forget that a former attorney wasn't smart enough to stand up in front of the Senate committee and say that he was going to plead the Fifth, and this was a private matter between himself and his wife. A first-year law student knows to plead the Fifth. So why didn't Bill Clinton? Because guess what broke the day that he lobbed a bunch of missiles into an aspirin factory? The CIA's involvement in cocaine dealing in the 80s. Nobody was talking about that, though, because they were too busy watching him getting grilled by the Senate while throwing missiles at an aspirin factory. So my question is, what's going on that they don't want us to know about that we probably won't find out about until 20 years from now?
Yeah, or at least there's something else. There's some other bullet he wants to dodge and pin on Sessions or something, so he's kind of starting this process. I don't know.
That's actually funny that you say that, because Jess just chimed in on Twitter and basically said the same thing. Trump wants Sessions to be the defensive end for some reason, and block all of the shots taken at him.
Great minds.
So,
yeah, I think there could definitely be something to that. I can see him being that way.
So basically, Trump is using Sessions as a human shield.
Well, I'm sure he's not the first. Certainly won't be the last.
No, he's kind of already done that with poor old Spicy, who just fell on his sword.
Oh, he did it with Chris Christie.
Without even the price, without even the promised Happy Meal, because he sold his soul for something that he didn't.
But I'm cracking up at people being like, "Holy crap, he is going to run off Attorney General after Attorney General until we have Christie, isn't he?" Oh crap.
Well, who better to have it as Attorney General? You're going to recuse yourself? Here's this box of Twinkies. Oh, wait, now you're not recusing yourself? Awesome! Oh, I'm sorry, did I say that out loud? Even
diehard Trumper Giuliani said that it was absolutely the right call for Sessions to recuse. So, so stupid, all of it.
What I don't get is I've seen people that I respect that I don't necessarily consider Trumpers that are starting to beat the drum of Sessions shouldn't have recused himself. That was the only play Sessions had, because if he had been the one running this investigation, they would have been able to toss anything that he did because of the fact that he was actively involved in the campaign. So I don't...
Right. So your attorney general doesn't recuse himself simply because you're the president and nominated him and he got confirmation from. Your attorney general is recusing himself because he was at your side pretty much day one in your campaign and was intricately involved throughout. So whether or not he had any real dealings with any of these people and what is truly being investigated, whether or not there are any real ties for him, it doesn't matter. It's about the campaign, and he was a part of your campaign. This is not rocket science. You go ahead and recuse yourself just so there's no question of interference or foul play. This is not even remotely something that someone who has any sort of legal experience needs to have to understand.
I don't honestly know where we go from here.
I don't either.
Jess is weighing in again. She's like, AG, he's going to run off half the admin at this rate. I
know. He really is.
All right. Well, on that note, folks, we are officially out of time. We're going to... well, actually, I guess we will be back not this coming Tuesday, but hopefully the following Thursday, because we're gonna take Thursday off because Jen's traveling and I got stuff to do, and then I got interviews and stuff I need to catch up on. So we'll be back not this coming Thursday, but a week from Thursday with a live show. Of course, I'll put up replays while we're gone. And if you hang out for just a second, as soon as we wrap this one, I'll be back with America Off the Rails. It'll take me about 5 minutes or so to reset. On the way out, why don't you remind folks where it is that they can hang out with you when you're not on the radio hanging out with me?
Yes, come find me at J Homestead on I can't even speak. At J Homestead on Twitter and JR Homestead on Facebook. And as always, check out misfitspolitics.com.
And tomorrow's Wednesday, so what do you guys got going on Misfits?
We've got our gift challenge. We always do our Misfit gift challenges on Wednesday. It's like 10 scenarios, anywhere from like, that awkward moment when you accidentally touch the guy's hand next to you or whatever. And then everybody send in their gifts, and it's a lot of fun, and it takes a little break from politics.
It's probably a good thing that I'm not involved in that, because none of them would be nearly that innocent, I'm just saying. But on that note, we are officially out of time, folks. This has been Jen and Rick. We'll see you a week from Thursday, and I'll be back here in just about 5 minutes or so with America Off the Rails. Stay tuned.
Everything is changing.